Falcon, you ready to roll? For me?
1 2 1 2. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, folks, good afternoon. Welcome back to the Derby Depot. Today we have, in about 1 minute, Lockeford versus Uinta. Thanks to all of you that seem to have braved the rain and our wonderful spring weather here in Utah. And I completely understand why the rest of you decided to stay home and stay dry. Joined on the mic again today by my friend Falcon from Sin City.
Hello. Glad to be here today.
And I do hope there's at least a few of you joining us out there on the live stream. If you have questions about anything going on in the game, I'll try to pay attention to the chat and answer any questions you might have. Also, if you just want to say hi, that's cool too. On the line to start us up, number 3, Lickety Split for Lockeford, and that's Reverend Painerd for the local Uinta Madness team. Rosters are on the screen, and then there's...
I picked up their Lockeford. Okay, sponsors. All right. Okay.
I hope all of you have had a chance to check in with some of our vendors and our sponsors over the weekend. Looks like there's still quite a few of them hanging out. Looks like I think Sin City still got some merch going over there. Possibly Lockeford moved into that spot now. You thought we were ready for roller derby. Referees had other ideas. They often do. All right, we have our first 5-second whistle from Jam Timer whammed off, and we are off. It's going to be Reverend Painerd out for Uinta Madness, first lead jammer of the game. Rev getting taken out back at the pivot line on his first scoring trip. And no good for Rev. Cutting the track, headed to the penalty box. Going to be a power jam for Lickety Split now.
Oh.
Lickety taken out just past turn 2 by Suki. Going to be drawn back by Suki and Vimes together. Going to wall up and... Oh, Lickety manages to take out Vimes, drop him to a knee, got past for a second, but recycled again by Triple X. Reverend Painerd out of the penalty box now, going to start back up on his scoring trip. He was already on a scoring trip, so he's likely already got a point or two in his pocket. Lickety gets tangled up down here with Suki in turn 3 on the ground. Everybody's back up on their feet again, but Lickety's got some problems up here in the form of Suki Slaphouse, Triple X, and Slam Vimes. All of the Uinta players looking for a cutting cutting the track penalty there. No package called. Suki's going to go take a sit down for failure to reform, I believe, but frustrating for the Uinta players there.
The Reverend's getting pulled back by Roller Candy and, hit to the inside of the track again. Just taking him back, pulling him back.
Yeah, Roller Candy's really been giving Rev some problems on this jam. They're probably going to call it off.
Oh, and they give him a high five. That's some good sportsmanship right there. Like it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are jam 1, folks. 4-4 jam, 7-4 jam, advantage to Uinta, but coach for Uinta and the captain Witchlapped are out there. The review signal has gone up. Unusual to use an official review in the first jam of the first period, but my guess is that the Uinta bench saw something that they are pretty sure that they can win. So let's see what's going on here. While we're taking a break here, I want to thank our sponsors, Pie Pizzeria. Pie's beloved pizzeria, known for its delicious oversized slices and unique flavor combinations. Established in 1980, it's become a staple in the local dining scene, attracting both residents and visitors. Pie Pizza is perfect spot for friends, families to enjoy a meal together, making it a must-visit destination for pizza lovers in the area, and has been a longtime sponsor of Utah Roller Derby. Like I said yesterday, that Pie Pizzeria banner you see above the penalty box, probably one of the first things to go up on the walls in this building when we first moved in many moons ago.
That's a great sponsor to stay with you all this time. Up next is our Time Machine Skate Shop. Time Machine Skate Shop is located in Salt Lake City, Utah, caters to local skateboarding community, and is known for its wide selection of skateboards, apparel, and accessories. Here, let's see if we caught that.
So nothing official there, just jammer referees conversing with the scorekeeping team up here to make sure that they have all the facts in the case correct. We'll get the word on the review here after our head ref has spoken with the teams.
Okay, continuing on with the Time Machine Skate Shop, they're friendly and knowledgeable staff, and the Time Machine not only offers quality products but fosters a sense of community through events, skate demos, and workshop. The shop's commitment to promoting skate culture and supporting local talent makes it a cherished spot for both skaters and enthusiasts in the area. Time Machine Skate Shop.
All right, so the news has been given to the teams. The Uinta was contesting the scorekeeping in the prior jam, stating that the opposing jammer was on their initial trip and only scored 1 point, not the 5 that they were awarded. After conversing with the scorekeeping team, they came to the conclusion that the score is correct. 5 points to 7, advantage Uinta in Jam 1, and Uinta loses their review for the period.
Looks like Slick Mick is on the jam line, taking lead jammer.
And that's number 39, Who, wearing the star for Uinta, just now breaking out.
And Slick Mick is just going to call for and call it off.
Yeah, smart move really now. Get the pace going after, we've had one jam and then a timeout for an official review. Lockeford wants to come out strong here, keep things moving. Full packs at the moment.
Got 61 Roller Candy on the line for Lockeford up against number 70.
That's Chevelle Bob for Uinta.
Oh, nice.
Bob's been roller skating longer than most of us have been alive.
Oh.
It's going to be Roller Candy out first, but it was close. Bob hot on his heels, about 15 feet back. Pack set up in turn 2. Roller Candy and Bob hit that pack pretty fast. Both quick call off, looking for the other jam ref. I'm guessing we're going 0-0 on this, but I'm going to wait till we hear from the jam refs. Oh, it was fun to see a pair of well-matched jammers in a foot race. Looks like our jammer referees are going to be conversing with the OPRs just to make sure that hips were or not passed. There it is, 2 points on that for Uinta Roller Derby. So Lockeford with lead on that, but Bob manages to sneak out with 2. Nice job there by Chevelle Bob.
And back up on the line for Lockeford is Slick Mick. Pushing against that tripod.
Slick Mick beating out Witch up there in the top. Lead jammer for Lockeford. Rev still stuck in the pack up here in the 1-2 apex.
Makes that nice inside turn to get out of the pack on the apex. And Slick Mick is going to call that with 4 in the sky.
All right, so lead change, advantage Lockeford there, 0-4 jam. That's going to be 10-28 Roller Bear against number 3, Lickety Split for Lockeford. We do have 1 Lockeford skater in the penalty box. That's number 8. Let's be honest. So 4-3 pack advantage for Uinta. Lickety Split shucking off some pretty heavy blocking from Suki and Lex there on the outside. Finds some room. Out she goes. Lead jammer and now around on a scoring trip. Roller Bear also on a scoring trip, but not quite fast enough. Lickety calls off the jam. We're going to go 4-0. Let's see.
And let's be honest, has returned to the box along with the jammer for Lockeford. I believe Lickety Split is in the box. I'm not sure for what.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Final score on the last jam was 2-0 advantage Lockeford, so Lickety managed to get a couple of points before the call-off. Chevelle Bob, lead jammer on a power jam now, as Falcon was saying, Lickety sitting in the penalty box.
Another beautiful side surf up there at the apex for Bob.
Some very nice footwork from old Chevelle Bob there. Out again, out to the outside with a little offensive help from off the rails. Bob through for 4 more. Witchlap going to go take a turn in the penalty box. And Lickety headed back to the box again. Looks like cutting the track, says our jam ref. That is unfortunate for Lockeford. Although Lickety may have some points scored already. Got about a minute left in the jam here. Bob's got probably 20 more seconds left on this power jam. Lockeford doing a pretty good job of holding Bob up in turn 2, but he finally manages to get out, getting that keep on going, Bob, from the sideline. Witchlap back on the track from the penalty box. Lickety coming out of the box also. Bob through again, 16 points so far on this jam. 27 seconds left for Lickety to work. Working against a pretty heavy pack of Uinta skaters up there in front. Knocked out of bounds by Witchlap. Makes it back in bounds before Witch can go back. But while that's happening, Bob through again, 20 points on the board. All right, Lickety knocked to the infield one more time by which lap right as the jam ends. Final scores coming in now from the jam refs. They're chatting with the scorekeeping team up here.
Okay, and Slick Mick is back on the line for Lockeford with Reveland up on the top for Uinta. My apologies. And getting pushed back.
Yeah, both jammers coming up against some pretty stiff resistance up here at turn one, although Rev finds a little hole, spin move across the inside of turn one. Uinta lead jammer.
Looks like there's a star cover. Pass to 16 on Lockeford. 61. They got Roller Candy.
Roller Candy getting real lucky up there. Got knocked to the outfield by Triple X. Lex absolutely thought she had him on that cut, but the referee said no, so he's out, forcing the call off. 2-0 jam on that one. 31-15 our score now. Going to have a timeout. Looks like going to Lockeford. Yeah, they're going to take a moment, have a chat about what's going on out there on the track.
We'll take another look at our sponsors at this time. Pit Viper is a popular eyewear brand based in Salt Lake City, Utah, known for its bold and colorful designs that cater to outdoor enthusiasts and adventure seekers. Pit Viper's unique presence has made it a favorite among athletes and casual wearers alike. And just a little housekeeping notes. We've got still have the raffle going on. It's $1 a ticket or $25 for a wingspan. You can buy tickets at the concessions or at the raffle table. There's 3 featured baskets: a skater basket, a summer basket, and a local basket. The winners will be announced during the halftime of the final game here on Sunday. You don't need to be present to win. However, you must have contact information and come to the depot to collect.
All right, timeout is over. We have Spider Monk, number 369, wearing the star for the first time this game. And looks like Lickety, number 3, again in for Lockeford. Spider Monk sent flying to the inside by A-Train, number 25. Once again, it's A-Train. A nice acrobatic move there by A-Train to stay on his skates.
Dang.
Spider Monk out again, but recovers. Both jammers now struggling to get past the 1-2 apex. Spider Monk getting recycled by Let's Be Honest.
Lickety Split has become the lead jammer. Spider Monk out finally. Oh.
All right. So here's a real technical question for those of you who might have seen what just happened in the straightaway. When does the action that caused the reaction end? As in, should that have been a cut? There will be officials, if anybody was watching on the live stream, there'll be officials who will debate that ad nauseum after this game.
I would believe that it's after he's out of the engagement zone. So
the rules don't say anything about the engagement zone, though, in that particular instance. Meanwhile, number 39, that's Who wearing the star for Uinta, and Roller Candy, number 61, for Lockeford. We had full packs until Khan did something he shouldn't have done, and off he goes to sit in the penalty box for 30 seconds.
And Modest for Lockeford is going as a multiplayer, and it shows their pivot. Slick Mick, not sure what she did. Lockeford.
Yeah, I mean, that's rough, but nice job out here by Roller Candy picking up lead jammer, even with the pack advantage. Who, however, also out of the pack, about 20, 30 feet back. Roller Candy's going to get in there, try to make some points, but I don't think he got past any hips.
Oh, picked up 2.
No, he did. And I think that was, yeah, we had a couple of players coming in from the penalty box. So picking up those points, good counting by the jam refs there. You might think it's not difficult to count to 4, but I promise you, when there's all kinds of other things going on around you, counting to 4 could be really, really hard. All right, talk about some of our vendors this weekend. Marzano Pizza Company. Pizza's made from scratch, prepared right in front of you. We bring freshly prepared dough, homemade sauces, and all the ingredients needed to round out your selected menu.
Blood, Sweat, and Roller Derby, edgy derby apparel created by amazing members of Beehive Skate Revolution with their custom designs from the Hills local tattoo artist from Salt Lake City, a former skater, comfortable shirts and sweatshirts for anyone who is a roller derby fan.
All right, looks like we're just about ready to get started again. There's a rolling whistle from Wamdolf. We have 4-3 pack advantage for Uinta, 1 blocker in the penalty box.
And Tiger Bomb is up on the line for Lockeford.
And that's Reverend Painter out for lead jammer, quickly up the outside line. Cost him a penalty with his pivot booty. She's going to take a sit for 30 seconds, so going to just do a little penalty box swap there. It was pack advantage for Lockeford. Now it's even packs at 3. Make that 3-2 advantage to Lockeford as Witch goes to join Booty in the penalty box.
And Tiger Bomb is going to the penalty box as the jammer for a track cut.
And we got another Lockeford skater going to the penalty box, going to swap out there with, let's be honest. It is unfortunate for me to say I've seen number 8 from Lockeford in the penalty box a few times more than I think she's probably comfortable with right now. It's a lot for early in a game. Nice job, though, by, let's be honest, getting back in play before engaging Reverend Painter and managing to make the hit, knocking him out, recycling him to the back of the hit. That's some good heads-up derby by, let's be honest, penalties be danged.
And Slamala Anderson's going back to the box for a cut. Tiger Bomb back to the pack.
Yep, Tiger Bomb snuck in right as Rev was going through on a scoring pass. It had everybody's attention on the infield. Snuck up the outside. Did manage to complete the initial pass, but not quite quick enough to get in for points before Rev called it off. So 20-point jam on the board for Uinta, 20-0. That's a rough one for Lockeford. Just about halfway through the first period here, folks. And looks like we do still have 1 Lockeford blocker in the penalty box, so pack advantage Uinta to start. Roller Bear 1028 wearing the star for Uinta, and I think that's Slick Mick 18, is that right?
Yes, Slick Mick for Lockeford. Work at the lines back and forth.
Yeah, both jammers tangled up with the blockers here between the pivot and jammer line, but Slick Mick trying to make a little spin move to the inside, gets taken out by Slicky Slaphouse, giving Roller Bear some time to get out. Lead jammer Uinta once again. Both jammers getting taken back in the 4-1 straightaway here. We're going to reset to the pivot line for everybody. Lockeford got 1 blocker in the penalty box. That's A-Train, number 25, but he's almost done. Looks like Triple X taking a seat on the other side. Roller Bear doing a nice job staying in bounds there just at the top of turn 3. Really big contact there by number 25 A-Train between he and Khan. Referees called it a back block. A-Train disagreed with that assessment, but we'll defer to their better judgment and better positioning.
We got Roller Candy back up on the line for Lockeford against Chevelle Bob, number 70. Looks like there are 2 Lockeford blockers in the box. And we've got a multiplayer by Hubba Bubba going to the box. He's going to be told to return to the track. The box is full.
Oh, big block from Hubba Bubba against Witch Slap.
And Roller Candy going to the box.
Just a lot of penalty trouble here for Lockeford. I'm not sure what the, what's going on out there with that team. But, it does seem a little heavy on jammer penalties. I'm not seeing exactly what the calls are, but we'll see. Chevelle Bob tangled up with a pretty nice tripod of Lockeford skaters, and they managed to pull a forearm penalty on him. Bob going to go take a sit for 30. That's going to release Roller Candy and give Lockeford 49 seconds on the jam clock, 30 of which gets to work on his own, see if he can get some points on the board for his team. Nice job there. That's Roller Candy. A little hop, skip, and a jump around the turn 3 inside apex. 4 points on the board for Lockeford now. 4-4 jam. Bob fighting away, trying to get a little bit of offense from Booty Queen there, but.
And the box is finally clear. We've got all the players on the track.
These old boys are going to run each other to death. It's a wash, 8-8 jam, 64-27, just over 12 minutes left in the first half. It's good to see the camaraderie out here, the sportspersonship that I see going on the track between these two teams. They're fighting hard, they're hitting each other hard, and they're having a good time doing it. That's what roller derby's all about.
Looks like Lockeford has called for an official review.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get some details on that. Go ahead and roll down some more of our vendors here at Salsa de Maples. Individual bags of chips and containers of salsa. I did not see if they were here today or not, but I bought some of their salsa yesterday. It is fantastic. I highly recommend it.
And Tortured Truffles. Tortured Truffles is a home-based cottage licensed chocolate and candy shop located in the West Valley city of Utah. Not only are the confections beautifully unique, but they are the highest quality in terms of taste, ingredients in use, and presentation. I believe that they were sold out yesterday by lunchtime.
I'm not surprised by that. It looked delicious. I didn't get to try any, but I live here, so I can go out and check them out. Also got Speed Bump booth, Uinta's very own Speed Bump, traveling with Team Vietnam to the World Cup in Vienna, Austria. Assist her adventure by purchasing any of the amazing goods from her booth. All right, so we were in an official timeout. The officials had something to talk about, but Lockeford would also like to use their official review now. Let's see what that's all about here in just a minute. In the meantime, if you haven't already, go check out the raffle prizes. Go buy yourself a raffle ticket, $1 each, or $25 for a wingspan of tickets. I recommend finding somebody really tall to go over there with you when you buy tickets. May I recommend Mr. Slam Vimes, 177 over here. After he gets done playing derby, go over and ask him to get you a wingspan of tickets. Really get your money's worth for that. Prizes will be called during halftime of the last game. You do not have to be here to win, but if you are not here, you do have to give up your personal information and your firstborn child in order to receive your prize. Just about a minute into our timeout here. Looks like the officials are all having a very, very detailed chat about whatever it was that Lockeford was reviewing. As soon as we know, you will too. Take this opportunity to thank all of our volunteers that make roller derby happen. Nobody's getting paid for this. In fact, the skaters are paying to do it, as are all the officials for all their gear and all their travel and all the things they need to make this happen. But thank you to our security volunteers. Thank you to our medics, our ticket takers, our concessions folks, everybody who volunteered for track maintenance, officials, all y'all. Announcers who came from Sin City here to help us out. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you very much.
I don't think that the volunteers really understand how much the skaters appreciate them.
Yeah, it's a huge thing. And if you're a relative or a friend of somebody out here on the track playing the game and you want to be more involved or help support that friend or family member, reach out to one of the volunteers here. I guarantee you everybody who's volunteering can tell you who to talk to if you want to come and help us out here. And we have all levels of roller derby in this building, from kids to adults, recreational to, full competitive teams, whatever you want. We got it here in town. All right, we're going to break up that huddle. Hopefully we can get some information from our officiating team on what was going on. Head ref Albert is going to give his ruling to the teams, and we'll see if we can figure out what happened. All right, so it looks like head referee Albert was heading over to talk to the coaches and captains and get some more clarifying information about what they were asking for in the review. He is back now with his crew on the infield, so we'll see what's going on here in a moment. I see. Wamdolf says it's his fault. All right, so Vonnie has come over and given us the information, but we're going to wait until head ref Albert has given his ruling to the teams before we announce it. But what I can say is that Lockeford was looking for, there was an insubordination penalty issued to one of their skaters following an initial penalty. They were asking for that second insubordination penalty to be overturned. And we'll let you know here as soon as they get done chatting the result. As I said yesterday, and will likely say again, the officials believed that they were correct the first time. They still believe they are correct now. That review is denied, and Lockeford will lose their review for the period. So no more official reviews to worry about. The only timeouts we can take now are team timeouts. Uinta has 3 left for the game. Lockeford has 2. They'll get their reviews back at the beginning of the second half. 12 minutes, 18 seconds remaining here in the first half of play, 64-27, our score. And the skaters are definitely ready to get back to roller derby. They are lined up on the benches, eagerly awaiting the rolling whistle of Wamdolf. It's like the skaters out on the track are having a nice chat, getting to know each other. Lots of smiles out there. Love to see that. Uinta making a little last-minute change to their blocker lineup. Looks like there's a little bit of confusion about who's supposed to be in the penalty box. So they seem to have that sorted out now. Witchlap taking a seat for Uinta. Looks like A-Train, number 25, taking a seat for Lockeford. So 3-3 packs out there. That's Reverend Painter wearing the star for Uinta. I believe that's 310 Honeybomb wearing the star for Lockeford. Yes, it is.
Yes. Jam is off.
Rev Painter busting up that Lockeford tripod, finally gets past lead jammer Uinta around now on a scoring trip. Honeybomb gonna get, yes.
The track cut.
Yep, drawn back by Sookie Slaphouse, pulls the cut off to the box. They go, Reverend Painter on a power jam. Witchlap and A-Train joining their teams from the penalty box now. So 4-4 packs, power jam still to Reverend Painter, but getting recycled out of turn 2 all the way back to turn 1. Going to pop in the middle there. Khan trying to give a little bit of offense for his teammate. All right, power jam's over. Honeybomb back out of the penalty box, but still on their initial trip, I believe. Rev Painter drawn back to turn 1 by Roller Candy and A-Train, but manages to sneak up the inside through again for 4 more points. 8 on the jam for Uinta Roller Derby. All right, so a little bit of a collision there. Tiger Bomb getting drawn back on the outside by Khan from Uinta. Also, that looks like that's number 78.
Actually, I think it's 1-8.
18.
18
Yeah.
Slick Mick.
That's Slick Mick. So Slick Mick trying to draw back Reverend Painter. Khan headed forward after the attempted cut trap on the Lockeford jammer and an unfortunate collision there. That is one of the dangers of going backwards on the track. But our medical team out there giving some help to Slick Mick. I will say both of our medical team members who are out on the track there are skaters in leagues around here. D-Rex been around the roller derby world for as long as I can remember. Plays with Junction City Roller Derby. And that's Slayer, who plays for BSR and has also played for Wasatch. All right, empty penalty box, full packs, both jammers on the track. We have 369 Spider Monk lining up with the star for Uinta.
And number 3, Lickety Split for Lockeford. Starting with an empty penalty box and full packs on the track.
All right, here we go. Spider Monk zigzagging across the entire lane there, trying trying to psych out the Lockeford blockers. They weren't having it, but he managed to sneak by.
That was a beautiful side surf out there.
It really was like reverse side surf too, with his facing the outside line. Nice job staying on his skates for that. Through, jumping the inside apex. That's 4 points.
They've done a
Last second call off there. Hubba Bubba was just about to hit that pack full steam when the whistles went. Nice job by all involved, not having a big old collision up there in that corner.
Slamina Anderson on the line for Lockeford, number 36 up against 39. Who?
Who?
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out.
Exactly. Slamma Anderson knocked to the outside by Suki. A pretty good tripod there. That's slam behind Suki, and I believe that's skates in the front there. I can't see. No, it's not. Can't see the number on that jersey. Who is that person in those pink pants?
Gonna like.
Oh, it's 804.
804. Fool around. Apparently, they are not fooling around. They have Slamma Anderson on lockdown.
Yeah, this tripod has been something. It's pretty fantastic. Got Triple X kind of holding it down there with the pack. Suki, Slam, and fooling around. Just not, as you said, not fooling around at all. Really nice blocking here. Both teams actually. I mean, Lockeford has who completely locked up. We're a minute into this jam. We haven't even got past turn one yet.
Almost had a nice uniform whip off of Hubba Bubba for Slamla Anderson. Got recycled back.
All right.
Successful pivot to Hubba Bubba on Lockeford's side.
Yeah, start pass to Hubba Bubba on the outside. Looks like there was a penalty to Roller Candy that finally broke who loose. I didn't see what the penalty was, but no matter who, around 4 points on the board. 4-0 jam for Uinta. 82-27, just under 8 minutes on the clock.
We've got Let's Be Honest up against Chevelle Bob for Uinta. Uinta.
Don't worry, nobody knows how to say it around here either. Let's Be Honest, making a nice run up the outside, using some of the confusion from Bob's offense there. Out lead jammer for Lockeford. Bob also out of the pack on a scoring trip as well. Lockeford gonna smartly call it off quick.
For 1 point in the sky.
Hard earned, but everyone counts.
Oh, she's going, Let's Be Honest, is going out back to back as jammer up against the Reverend.
That's 46-2, Reverend Painerd. Rev finding a hole on the outside. Lead jammer Uinta. Let's Be Honest, hung up, but going for the star pass. That's Hubba Bubba once again, number 4, the pivot for Lockeford. No. Head referee says it was an illegal star pass.
High block.
So, Let's Be Honest is still the jammer. So Hubba Bubba is going to return that. It's going to be a power jam for Reverend Painerd as Let's Be Honest takes another trip to the penalty box, but this time is the jammer. Very nice piece of offense there by 1864 Khan against Hubba Bubba, clearing that inside line for Reverend Painerd. Nice job by Lockeford holding up Rev, but he manages to find a hole on the outside of turn 3. 4 more points in the air, 16 so far for Rev Painerd in this jam, just under a minute left to go. Let's Be Honest, back out of the penalty box, battling it out in turn 3 with the full pack of Uinta. Gets knocked out by Khan, going to get recycled. Rev Painerd in the pack, getting knocked to the infield by Hubba Bubba, but finds some room on the outside, manages to stay on his feet, 4 more in the air. That's 20 points and breaches the 100-point mark for Uinta.
And let's be honest, is going back to the box again as a jammer for a forearm call out on the inside apex.
So 17 seconds left in the jam. We're not going to get, let's be honest, back before this jam times out. Reverend Painter through 24 seconds. His record yesterday, or actually earlier today, was 28 points in a jam. He's got 4 seconds to match that. I don't think he's going to do it. Well, nope, he didn't get them all this time. So if my count is right, I believe that, let's be honest, has been in the penalty box 5 or maybe even 6 times. So their bench is likely getting concerned about penalty numbers there. So power jam for Roller Bear. Nice little piece of offense there by Booty Queen. Going to get Roller Candy rolled to the back. Let's be honest, back on the track, penalty over. So power jam over, but not before Roller Bear is out. Lead jammer for Uinta. Let's be honest, out on a scoring trip too, about half a track behind.
Lockeford has lost number 33 to the box.
All that for 2 points for Uinta, but sometimes jams be like that. Number 18, Slick Mick wearing the star for Lockeford. Number 70, Chevelle Bob for Uinta Madness. Got one Lockeford player in the penalty box. Bob quickly out before the pivot line. Lead jammer for Uinta.
We've got Khan going to the box. 1884 from Uinta.
Nice piece of offense there by Hubba Bubba and A-Train there to get Slick Mick out on a scoring trip now. Bob getting the sign from his bench to call it off. Did he get it in time? Yes, he did. The dreaded 4 whistles. Timeout. 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the first half of this game of roller derby. Scorekeeping. Jam timer. I stand corrected. 2 minutes and 34 seconds remaining in the first half. Please do go and visit our vendors and concessions at halftime. Also remember, I know it's raining outside. I know it sucks. But the bathrooms in the building are for skaters and officials playing and officiating in the active game. Please leave the inside bathrooms for the skaters and officials working the game. There are portos across the parking lot. It's not that far. You won't get too wet, maybe.
And 61 Roller Candy is on the line for Lockeford, making his way out of the pack.
Yeah, he's going to pick up lead pretty quick. Slick Mick doing a really nice job of holding up Rev Painter, but he gets a little bit of offense from Sookie and Vimes, and off he goes.
That was a beautiful spin on that outside.
That really was. That was good looking. Roller Candy gonna take his points and go home. 4-0 jam advantage Lockeford. Nice job there by Roller Candy to stay on his feet.
Well, did you see that he is an artistic gold medalist?
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
I was looking at his skates, and they're actually jam dance skates, not
Yeah.
derby skates.
Well, and that's Chevelle Bob over on the Uinta bench. He's done a lot of that kind of skating as well. He's probably spent more time in roller rinks than all of us put together.
We got Tiger Bomb on the line, number 30 for Lockeford, being held back with that tripod.
All right. A little bit of confusion in communication from the jammer referee to the jammer there. Spider Monk going to the penalty box for cutting. Also going to sit for a second penalty for insubordination for failure to leave the track. When you realize it's you who got the penalty, you make a hard right and get off that track. We talked about tiptoeing through the white tulips and the gray tulips. If you have a penalty, you should be in the white tulips, not the gray. All right, so
Tiger Bomb has made it out of the pack and has obtained the lead status of jammer.
Lockeford doing a pretty good job of holding up Uinta's blockers. Off the rails coming out of the penalty box, going to try to give some help, set up a wall at the back. Heavy 2-wall up there of Witch Slapped and Booty Queen. Not a duo I want to go up against.
Off the rails was sent back to the penalty box, but I'm not exactly sure what the penalty was for.
It was obviously not a thing because rails never does anything wrong.
And Tiger Bomb's going to call that before she gets recycled back to the jam line.
All right, so that is the end of the first half for you folks. Score now 113 for Uinta Roller Derby, 40 for Lockeford Roller Derby. We're going to take a little bit of a break. We'll see you back here in about 10 minutes or so. Go ahead and visit our vendors, visit some sponsors. Remember to leave the bathrooms for the active skaters and officials, and we'll see you back here soon. All right, folks, just about 2 minutes left before we get going with period number 2 of Uinta Roller Derby versus Lockeford Roller Derby. Score stands at the moment at 113 for Uinta, 40 for Lockeford. Let's see if Lockeford can put something together in the second half to close that gap a little bit. Once again, joined on the mic here by Blue Falcon from Sin City. Thanks once again for being here with us.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Are we having fun?
Absolutely.
Of course we're having fun. More
Are you
important
having
thing is, Roller Candy, are you having fun?
Right on. Right on.
There it is. I was looking for my copy on the rest of my vendors. I was like, I know there's more, and there are. And you must be nuts not to visit them. Must Be Nuts is a family-owned small business serving up handcrafted small batch gourmet peanut butter with bold flavors, unforgettable mix-ins. From crunchy classics to coffee-infused creations, every jar is hand-stirred and packed with personality. One spoonful and you'll see why we say you must be nuts not to try it.
All the skaters are here. We're referees.
There they are. They were having coffee. Got our officiating staff joining us back out on the track. One last vendor to go over here, Spellbound Finds. They're set up over there under the Grand Slam cheering section banner. Spellbound Finds brings a little magic to the merch table with handcrafted earrings, spell oils, and mystic self-care goods. Each piece is made to enchant and empower. Perfect for book lovers, magic makers, and anyone who wants their style to cast a spell. Raffle tickets still available for sale, $1 a piece or $25 per wingspan. You can buy tickets at concessions or the raffle table. 3 baskets featured, a skater basket, a summer basket, and a local basket. Winners announced during halftime of the final game on Sunday. That's today, folks. You do not need to be present to win. However, you must leave contact information and be willing to come here to collect your winnings. All right, rolling whistle from Whamdolph. We have off the rails number 22 in the penalty box for Uinta. So 4-3 pack advantage for Lockeford. Number 3, Lickety Split on the line with the star for Lockeford. Number 70, Chevelle Bob, who just got knocked to the outside by Roller Candy, wearing the star for Uinta.
Looks like we got 106 from Uinta going to the penalty box. Annie Chokley.
Yeah, Bob managed to get out. He's got lead jammer. Lickety Spit's still hung up in the pack. Got a star pass now to Hubba Bubba, number 4, who is hot on Bob's tails and going to send him flying to the outside. If you know anything about Bob, getting him checked to the outside by someone bigger than him is just a way to excite him, and it has, although Hubba Bubba comes crashing through the pack. 4 points on the board for Lockeford. I think Bob was on 8. Hubba Bubba probably picked up a couple towards the end there. We're going to wait for the Jammer to let us know. Did see Witch Slap from Uinta going to go take a seat in the penalty box. Looked like a clockwise block hand signal, I believe. I did not see it myself.
Slick Mick up on the line there for Lockeford against 1028 Roller Bear.
Slick Mick thought she had some room on the outside, but Triple X shutting down that lane once again. Triple X giving Slick Mick a lot of trouble. Roller Bear now up in the front against that pretty hefty wall from Lockeford. That's A-Train, Hubba Bubba, and I can't see the other blocker there. It's 69, I believe, from Lockeford. Yeah, it's 69. It's Mama Jama. Neither jammer managed to get past turn one so far. Almost a minute gone in this, but right as I say that, Slick Mick finds a hole on the inside. Lead jammer for Lockeford.
Roller Bear's still caught up. Oh, and she has made it out of that tripod there up at the apex. Slick Mick still trying to pick up some points before calling it. She got
Looks like 2 points. All right, a lot of effort there for 2 points, but still 2-0 jam advantage Lockeford in jam 1 of the second period, 46 to 121 the score. Or sorry, that was jam 2. Going into jam 3 now, full packs on the track. Roller Candy number 61 wearing the star for Lockeford, and 46 and 2 Reverend Painard wearing the star for Uinta.
Roller Candy out on that lead jammer.
Yeah, Roller Candy managed to push the Uinta blockers out past the engagement zone. Out of play gets called. Lead jammer gone. He's through. 4 points. Quick call off before Reverend Painter could get to the pack. So again, 4 and out for Lockeford. Or sorry, 2 and out last one. 4 and out for this one. Good start to the second period for Lockeford Roller Derby, 121 to 50.
Look, the split back up on the line for Lockeford against who from Uinta.
Against off the rails, number 22 hanging out in the penalty box. 4-3 pack advantage to Lockeford. Hubba Bubba taking a hit from Who there and going down to the inside. It's not often you see Who knocking down the big guys like that, but tough as nails as they are, it happens sometimes. Both jammers tangled up with the packs here just ahead of the pivot line. Triple X manages to recycle Lickety. Who's still tangled up, looks like, with number 4, the pivot, Hubba Bubba, and the rest of the Lockeford blockers. You got 2 kind of small, jukey jammers against 2 very big packs here. But Who finds a hole on the outside with a little help from Rails on offense. Lead jammer goes to Uinta.
Looks like there has been a cover pass, possibly.
I believe so. I think Hubba Bubba, yes. Hubba Bubba has the star in hand, has not yet put it on. Knocked to the outside by Off the Rails, who's going to recycle him. Who back in through the pack, slicing up diagonally across the straightaway. 4 more points on the board for Uinta. Number 33, Bad Astral, giving some offense there for Hubba Bubba, but he's knocked to the outside again. Uinta going to bridge back and take him almost all the way into turn 2. Who back in the pack again, also knocked to the outside. That's Bad Astral taking Who back, going to make Who start all over again. Who knocked down by Lickety, but stays inbound, back up and out on another scoring trip. That's going to be 16 points on the jam for Who. No pass on the effort for Lockeford. 16-0 jam, 137-50. Nice job by Uinta for that great blocking and offense for Who to get through in 16 points.
Got an empty penalty box, and up on the line is going to be Chevelle Bob against Slick Mick for Lockeford.
Once again, very tight packs off the start. Both jammers trying to go up the middle. Looked like Bob was going to try to follow Slick Mick's offense there, but A-Train stopping that. Slick Mick manages to sneak out past Witch and Rails up there in the front. Lead Jammer does go to Lockeford. Bob getting knocked to the outside, turn one, recycled by Roller Candy.
Slick Mick just cut it in through that pass with the disturbance of Chevelle Bob being stuck up in the pack.
Slick Mick with a hard hit to the wall there. That's Rails, Witch, and Booty manages to shuck them off through again. 4 more points for Lockeford, but Bob finally out of the pack on his scoring trip. Let's see what Slick Mick's going to do with it. Slick Mick into the pack, making a call-off signal, gets the call before Bob can get there. Let's see how many Mick managed to get.
2 in the sky is what I see.
Very nice. 10 points, 10-0 Jam advantage. Lockeford 137-60. A lot of these players have skated for a variety of teams over this weekend. People with multiple jerseys over the weekend. I know it's got to get tiring. Nice move there by Spider Monk. 369 for Uinta, hopping over Hubba Bubba's leg. Lead Jammer for Uinta. Spider Monk getting a little bit of offense. Nice work there by Khan coming in from the outside. Open the lane for Spider Monk. Through 4 points on the board for Uinta Madness. Jammer for Lockeford, I believe, was Tiger Bomb, but now it's Hubba Bubba again with the star pass.
And Triple X is just sitting to the box, followed by another skater from Uinta.
Suki and Lex. Number 8, number 007, Suki Slaphouse and Triple X. A lot of experience there between those two skaters. Big hit from Hubba Bubba against Khan and Annie Chokley there. Just Annie to beat. Finally pushes past her. Hubba Bubba out, up in the air. 4 more points, but Spider Monk in the pack. Slides through on the outside. Get knocked to the outside. Let's see if they give him the full count. Jamref's going to go check with the OPR and see what the score was. Looks like 3, got all but 1 on that pass. All right, 11-4 on the Jam advantage, Uinta, 148-64. Just over 20 minutes left in the game. And the captain, Witch Slap for Uinta, is going to call a team timeout. They have 1 team timeout remaining on the board and their official review. Lockeford sitting on 2 timeouts and an official review. So we'll take a break. And we'll talk about sponsors, maybe. Let's talk about the Time Machine Skate Shop. Time Machine Skate Shop, located in Salt Lake City, Utah, caters to the local skateboarding community. Known for its wide selection of skateboards, apparel, and accessories, the shop serves as a hub for skaters of all levels, from beginners to seasoned pros. With a friendly, knowledgeable staff, Time Machine not only offers quality products, but also fosters a sense of community through events, skate demos, and workshops. The shop's commitment to promoting skate culture and supporting local talent makes it a cherished spot for both skaters and enthusiasts in the area. Time Machine Skate Shop. Check them out, folks. Thanks for being a sponsor this weekend. All right. Some things have occurred since we last spoke that I am not sure about. But what I do know is we've got 3 packs and a power jam for number 61, Roller Candy, as Spider Monk is cooling his skates in the penalty box for an unknown penalty. Roller Candy going to manage to dive and stumble out the front of the pack there. Lead Jammer for Lockeford. Let's see if they can do something with what's left of the power jam, although Spider Monk up and standing in the penalty box, almost back, and full complement, jammers and blockers. Roller Candy going to call it off. Roller Candy kind of holding his forehead there on the way back to the bench. Looks like he might be take a visit over to our medical staff and say hello. Once again, empty penalty box means full packs. Both jammers on the track. Slick Mick against Reverend Painerd. Rev Painter tripping over the down skater. That was A-Train down there. Got a Lockeford blocker going to the penalty box. Hubba Bubba, the only one to pass up there. Reverend Painerd out for lead jammer for Uinta. It's 10:25. Skull and Lace hanging out in the penalty box for a second there. Looks like Reverend Painerd got knocked out of bounds by Slick Mick. Slick Mick's going to drop back here because the jammers can go anywhere they want on the track. So we're just going to play the wait until my blockers are out of the penalty box. Nice little penalty kill there. If you have control of the clock, you can do that kind of thing. Not necessarily a tactic I think I would employ with the scoreboard currently against me as it is.
Some whistles here. Somebody's going to the box.
That's Slam Vimes, number 177 for Uinta, going to go take a sit. But both jammers now being recycled all the way around the track. This is going to be Sookie Slap House, Triple X, A-Train, Hubba Bubba, everybody coming back around. We are minus one full lap. So connoisseurs of the rules of roller derby will know that something very strange just happened there. When they
All right, we've got Roller Candy number 61 on the line for Lockeford up against Roller Bear for Uinta Madness. Well,
nice job by Roller Bear finding a little bit of space on the outside there. Double whistle goes. Off to the box goes Roller Candy.
Roller
So
Candy. Going to
powered. Oh. Roller Bear takes a big hit from one of the Lockeford blockers. That's number 8. Let's be honest, putting Roller Bear down quickly there. But Roller Bear back up on her feet, fighting it off again up at the front of the pack with Let's Be Honest. And that's Bad Astral in the teal helmet there, getting knocked to the outside. Again, Roller Bear recycled almost all the way back into turn 2. Rail's going to try to put a stop to that for her, give a little offense.
Looks like another Lockeford blocker is going to go to the box. It's the pivot this time. See who that is. Slamala Anderson. Lockeford's going to call a timeout.
Looks like official timeout going to happen here. 163-68, current score. Just over 15 minutes left in this game. While we're stopped, mention another one of our sponsors. Pit Viper is a popular eyewear brand based in Salt Lake City, Utah. Known for its bold, colorful designs that cater to outdoor enthusiasts and adventure seekers. Pit Viper's unique presence has made it a favorite among athletes and casual wearers alike.
We also have Pizza Pie. The Pie is a beloved pizzeria known for its delicious oversized slices and unique flavor combinations. Established in 1980, it's become a staple of the local dining scene, attracting both residents and visitors from afar. Pie Pizza is perfect spot for friends and family to enjoy a meal together, making a must-visit destination for pizza lovers in the area. Has been a longtime sponsor and supporter of Utah Roller Derby.
Absolutely. Thanks very much to the Pie. Upcoming events here at the Derby Depot or involving the leagues that inhabit this place. The SLRD booth at the Pride Festival, June 7th and 8th. That, of course, is downtown. Crash Course Graduation Bout and Uinta Home Team Bout, June 21st. Doors open at 5:30. It is a Pride theme, so come dressed in theme if you would like. Wasatch also having a Pride bout on June 28th that following weekend. Doors at 6:30, game at 7. Officials still taking a break to go over happenings in the last jam. Head referee Prince Albert going to go over and chat with the skaters in the penalty box. Like to thank some more of our vendors. Spellbound Finds brings a little magic to the merch table with handcrafted earrings, spell oils, mystical self-care goods. Each piece is made to enchant and empower, perfect for book lovers, magic makers, or anyone who wants their style to cast a spell. Looks like the officials are taking a wander around the track lines here, just making sure everything is in good order. Still do have another game to play tonight.
And let's not forget about the raffle that is still going on. It'll be raffled off. The announcing winners will be raffled off at halftime during the final game today. You don't need to be present, but however, you must leave a contact information and be willing to come to the depot to collect. Tickets are $1 per ticket or $25 per wingspan. You can buy the tickets at concessions or at the raffle table. There are 3 featured baskets, a skater basket, a summer basket, and a local basket. Go grab those raffle tickets before the halftime of the next game. And some of our local vendors here in the shop was Marzano's Pizza Company. Their pizzas are made from scratch and prepared right in front of you. We bring freshly prepared dough, homemade sauces, and all the ingredients needed to round out your selected menu. Blood, Sweat, and Roller Derby, edgy derby apparel created by amazing members of Beehive Skate Revolution, and with custom designs from Hills, a local tattoo artist from Salt Lake City, a former skater. Comfortable shirts and sweatshirts for anyone who is a fan of roller derby. And we are back into the action. And up on the jam line is number 70, Bob Chevelle against Lickety Split, number 3 for Lockeford. Being pulled back by A-Train 25. And Chevelle Bob is out in the lead pack jam. Got Lickety Split being pulled back by 700, Triple X. Bob getting to the knocked out by A-Train. Looks like Khan's going to come up and try to throw some O on that blocking pair at the front, and Bob is out for another 4 in the sky. Lickety Split is still in the back in the pack and has yet to make their initial lap. Little fancy toe work on that outside line for Bob, picking up another 4.
Looks like star pass for Lockeford there to their pivot. I believe that's number 36. Is that right? Yeah, 36, Slamel Anderson taking the star pass, but Bob decides to call it off, shut that down. 8-0 jam advantage, Uinta 171 to 68.
Looks like 804 full around is in the box for Uinta. I think it was a directional from what I saw on the arm signals from the referees.
All right, we got number 18, Slick Mick, wearing the star for Lockeford. 39,
Got a little
who
jumping around there.
just bouncing all over the place back here. 4-3 pack advantage for a second for Lockeford, but it's, let's be honest, number 8 taking a trip back to the penalty box. I have said that too many times today already. I unfortunately believe that, let's be honest, might be on their last trip to the box.
We
But
got a little jammer race here.
nice job by Slick Mick taking who out in the corner down here in turn 4.
That's lead jammer. Looks like she might be trying to clear the box.
Yeah, 4-4 on the jam. Got one blocker left to release from the box. Really nice timing on the call off there. Let's be honest, gets released from the penalty box just as the jam is called. And I believe my count was correct. Let's be honest, heading to the locker room. I'm pretty sure that's 7 penalties on the day for, let's be honest.
Calling a timeout on Lockeford's side. Talk about some more of our local vendors here in the Derby Arena. We have Blood, Sweat, and Roller Derby, Edgy Derby Apparel, created by amazing members of Beehive Skate Revolution, and with custom designs from Hills, a local tattoo artist from Salt Lake City and a former skater. Comfortable shirts and sweatshirts for everyone who is in roller derby. We also have Salsa de Maples, individual bags of chips and containers of salsa. It's delicious salsa. Tortured Truffles is a home-based, cottage-licensed chocolate and candy shop located in the West Valley City, Utah. Not only are their confections beautifully unique, but they are the highest quality in terms of taste, ingredients, use, and presentation. Speed Bump. Uinta's very own Speed Bump is traveling with Team Vietnam to the World Cup in Vienna, Austria. Assist her with her adventures by purchasing any of the amazing goods from her booth. Good luck, Speed Bump.
All right, we are back at it here on the track. Got 000 Booty Queen taking a seat, standing in the penalty box. Less than 10 seconds left. Reverend Painter, 46-2, wearing the star for Uinta, getting recycled now by Slamela Anderson. That's Honey Bomb, number 310, fighting it out with Suki, Lex, and Slam Vimes up at the front. No lead jammer yet. Nobody's gotten past the pivot line quite yet. Nice big hit there by A-Train to take Rev out and recycle backwards. Good bridging by Lockeford. Once again, Rev taken out by A-Train. The whole Lockeford pack back there waiting for him. A-Train going to send him to the outside again, but Rev right back inside because all he had to do was come back in behind A-Train. But all four other, or the other 3 Lockeford blockers were all sitting there waiting for him, so nothing happening there. Booty Queen going to take out A-Train, recycle him to the back.
Hear a whistle here.
Yep, let's see what we got.
Got a forearm.
That's the pivot. Lickety Split going to go take a sit for 30 seconds. So pack advantage goes to Uinta. No lead jammer yet. We're a minute 10 into this jam. We have not had lead jammer established. Again, another testament to some amazing blocking. These are very talented jammers, and they are being held up by some brutal blocking. But Rev finally finds a line on the inside past Slamela Anderson. Lead jammer for Uinta. Took almost a minute and a half to get lead. We still haven't hit turn 3 yet in this jam. Rev Painter threw 4 more points on the board, about 20 seconds to work. Honey Bomb going up against, was just Booty Queen by herself up front here, joined now by Suki Slaphouse and Slam Vimes. Going to take Honey Bomb to the outside. All 3 of them are going to drop back. Rev got piled up on the infield by the Lockeford blockers. He's going to call it off, or actually I think it ran out on time on us there. 5 hard-earned points for Reverend Painter in that jam. 183-76 our score now. All right, empty penalty box. Both jammers on the track. Whistle has blown, but we haven't moved far past this jammer line. Spider Monk going side to side, trying to confuse the blockers, getting a little bit of help from Witch Slap, but it's Lockeford out first, lead jammer. That's Slick Mick wearing the star for Lockeford. Spider Monk about 20 feet back. Both jammers running hard. Gonna get the call off, but I'm pretty sure Spider Monk got at least one in there. Yep. Jammer referees are going to concur with that. 2-1 jam advantage. Lockeford 184 to 78. 9 minutes left in the game.
Got an empty box and Tiger Bomb for Lockeford up on the line, number 30, and Roller Bear from Uinta. Khan's going to clear that inside line with Roller Candy, getting Uinta taking lead.
That was nice two-person offense there. Both Slam Vimes and Khan taking that pack over to the side, making a nice hole for Roller Bear. Roller Bear around on a scoring trip now. Tiger Bomb still tied up, being taken back by number 8, Suki, in turn 1. Got Khan holding the bridge a little bit there.
Stretching the pack.
Roller Bear gets knocked out by Roller Candy, but he can't manage to keep his feet, goes down. Roller Bear comes back in legally, around 4 more points on the board for Uinta.
Tiger Bomb is still stuck at the back of that pack at the apex.
Once again, Roller Bear against Roller Candy, and Roller Bear coming out on top of that engagement once again. Not this time. Roller Candy sends Roller Bear to the outside. Roller Bear's going to call off that jam. Let's see. We've got 2 more points. We're going to make that a 10-0 run for Uinta. 6 points away from the 200-point mark. 194 to 78 to score. 7.5 minutes left in the game. Chevelle Bob finding a hole on the inside line there, just tiptoed up the inside. Lead jammer for Uinta. Wearing the star, that's number 18. That's Slick Mick for Lockeford. Also getting knocked to the outside, recycled, but finds a line on the inside, manages to get past the last Uinta blocker, out on a scoring trip as well. Bob through for his first 4. That's going to put us 2 points away from 200. Bob's going to shut it down. 4-0 jam advantage Uinta.
Got Bad Astral, number 33, up on the line for Lockeford, up against 39 for Uinta.
That's, I think, the first time we've seen Bad Astral with the star on this game.
I think it is too. Oh, that was a hard hit.
Yeah, Roller Candy getting tangled up with Who there, but Who going to the outside, coming back in, immediately engaging Lockeford blockers. Suki, number 8, coming through, try to clear out some of those blockers so Who can get around. But Lockeford reforming pretty quickly. Nice job by Lockeford's blockers getting back up on their feet, back into formation to focus on that jammer. Who and Roller Candy getting tangled up. Roller Candy going to spin around. Slamala Anderson, lead jammer for Uinta.
Astral taking the cover off to see if she can reach her pivot. Oh, and a nice little apex hop there from the Who.
Bad Astral knocked to the inside, loses the helmet cover. Suki and Vimes going back for the cut trap, but Vimes committed a penalty off to the penalty box. He goes. Bad Astral did make it out of the penalty, or out of the pack there on a scoring trip, but no points. 207 points, Uinta Roller Derby, 78 for Lockeford. 5 minutes just passed on the clock in the second half. Something I mentioned to some of the skaters I was chatting with at halftime is that there's the attitude on the track here from both teams has been exceptional throughout this whole game. Despite what the score may say up on the scoreboard, they're all having a good time. They're all still enjoying each other, enjoying roller derby, and that's what we like to see. Reverend Painter tries to spin move up the inside there, but shut down. Let's see, that is number 18. That's Slick Mick, yeah.
Came out of nowhere and just sniped him. Oh, but he
Yep.
did get off.
Managed to win the spin that time. Lead jammer for Uinta. Reverend Painter.
Tiger Bomb out of the pack as well on his trail, trying to get him to race the pack so he can get the points. He's going to call it off, I do believe, late, and I think Tiger Bomb might have picked up one.
Maybe, yeah. So it was A-Train taking Rev Painter to the outside there, trying to stop that. Was right in the same line where Tiger Bomb wanted to be. There was a pretty big collision with her teammate there. Looks like, did we go 0-0 on that?
We went 0-0.
All right. Well, nice job, blockers. 3.5 minutes remaining in the half, 2:05-78.
Spider Monk on the line for Uinta. He's going to try to take that outside line again.
Looks like Honey Bomb, number 310, wearing the star for Lockeford. Spider Monk almost out, but Roller Candy going to send him to the outside. Pretty good tripod from Lockeford up there at the front, holding up, dropping his head there through the inside of those arms to get lead jammer. If I was Lockeford's coach, I'd have something to say about that.
And we've got a cover pass over to Roller Candy, number 61, from Honey Bomb.
So Spider Monk out, 4 points on the board, entering the pack again now. No, he is going to go to the penalty box for skating out of bounds. You cannot skate out of bounds to avoid a hit, much as you would like to. This is a full contact sport. You got to take it.
And we're going to go for the full 2 minutes now.
Yeah, just under a minute left on the jam clock. There has been a star pass to Roller Candy. He's just been recycled back to turn one, but manages to barge his way through Suki, Lex, and fool around out there. Out now, 4 points on the board, so point for Lockeford, but see if he can get some more. I believe Spider Monk has a point or two in the pocket already, so we'll see. He's back out of the penalty box now. Slides through the inside with a little help from his friends. 4 more points on the board for Uinta. Oh, big hit there by Roller Candy. Almost had it, took out Lex, tried to take out Khan, but couldn't quite do it. Khan's going to go to the penalty box for something he certainly didn't do, I have no doubt.
And another apex jump.
Nice little hop there by Spider Monk. Good landing. Looks like Uinta is going to use their official review for the period. Not a bad time. You can't take it with you. A minute left. If nothing else, you get a nice long timeout. We do have more roller derby happening for you just after this game, so take a break. I don't know if it's still raining out there. I'm imagining it is. It's a lovely spring Utah day.
I'm not complaining because it's dry and hot where we're at right now.
Yeah, I can imagine Vegas is probably a little brutal right now. And I'm dumb enough to only go there the one time a year when it's really, really hot for RollerCon.
I was gonna say RollerCon. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Other than that, I avoid Vegas altogether. I did go there to see Willie Nelson once. That was a good thing. So, head officials chatting with the captains and coaches here. We'll see what this review is going to be about here in just a minute. Chevelle Bob back here on the track having a nice chat with the Lockeford skaters. Like I was saying earlier, the overall vibe of this game has been super friendly and fun. All the skaters having a good time out there. Definitely the kind of derby we like to see. Fast, hard, and fun. There's a note from a previous game that says, please wish Garrett McCarter a happy birthday. He's watching from home, apparently. Garrett, if you're still with us, happiest of birthdays from all of us. Couple minutes into our official review here, the coaches and captains still hanging out in the infield waiting for news from the referees. Let's see what we have.
And let's not forget, if you're watching this action and you want to become part of the action, there is a crash court information night coming up at the depot here on September 1st. I know it's a little ways away, but there's always time to prepare. The crash course starts on on September 17th here in the depot. The Pride Parade is going to be happening. Pride Bout is June 28th, and the doors open at 6:30 here with the game at 7 p.m.
But for those interested, the Utah Pride Festival is June 7th and 8th that whole weekend. Actually, I think it starts on the 6th on the Friday downtown at Washington Square Park, along with the parade, which will be happening on June 8th. I will be there. Hope to see you there. All right, so results of the review. Uinta was asking for the skating out of bounds penalty that was assessed against Spider Monk to be removed. The referees once again concurred that they were right the first time, and it's still a penalty. Uinta loses their review. We have just over a minute left in the game, 2:21 to 86 our score, and we're off with Chevelle Bob and Slick Mick. Chevelle Bob quickly out up the inside line, but Slick Mick out of the pack, also half a track behind. Bob coming up on turn one now on scoring trip. Hung up pretty quick by Lockeford's blockers, and Slick Mick comes crashing into the back of the Uinta pack, takes out two blockers, but gets held up by Suki. Mick, nice spin move past Suki, out 4 points on the board for Lockeford. Bob, lead jammer, still hung up in there. He's going to call it off, try to stop this from getting any worse. Nice job by Slick Mick picking up 4, even without lead. 225 to 90. 4-4 on that jam for Bob. Looks like he had pocket points as well. Good for him. Depending on what happens here, folks, we have more time on the lineup clock than we do on the game clock. So unless that happens, that would have been the end of the game, but Uinta going to call a timeout. We will extend this one more jam. 3 seconds remaining on the game clock. Remember, the game's not over until it says final score on that scoreboard. Please wait until then to come out to the black line to congratulate the skaters on a good game. Also, please do remember that the bathrooms inside the building are for active skaters and officials only. If you have to go potty, go outside to the porta potties. Thank you.
And on July 5th, Beehive Skate Revolution organized a multi-game event in Moab, Utah for the Red, White, and Bruised mashup. That's in Moab, Utah. There is a QR code sign at the concession stands if you'd like to scan to learn more.
All right, number 30, Tiger Bomb wearing the star for Lockeford. 369, Spider Monk once again with the star for Uinta. Nobody in the penalty box, full packs. Period clock has expired. We are on jam time now. All eyes on Wamdolf with the clock in the middle of the track. No pack called once, twice again by head ref Albert. Then the whistles go. Suki Slaphouse going to be the victim of that no pack situation. Off to the penalty box she goes. Lead jammer for Tiger Bomb.
Spider Monk has received a track cut Not even making his initial pass yet.
All right, folks, so that means the last jam of the game is going to go the full 2 minutes. Well, unless Tiger Bomb wants to shut it down, but I don't know why she would want to. Finding a spot on the inside, almost managed to get out, but Slam Vimes comes up from nowhere. Vimes getting knocked out of bounds. Tiger Bomb back on the track now. 2 Uinta blockers to beat, but Suki Slaphouse, number 8, the pivot, coming back out of the penalty box. And Spider Monk going back to the penalty box. I believe that was an illegal re-entry penalty because Suki was already on the track. Suki also going back to the penalty box. Not sure what for. Lots of whistles, though. 36, Slamela Anderson from Lockeford going to go to the penalty box. All right, 4 whistles blown. Let's see what our final scores are. Unofficial score now, 225-2. I believe Lockeford had some more. Yes, they did. Not quite enough to get past the century mark. Looks like 225-98 is going to be our unofficial score. The scorekeeping team going to come over here and chat with the scorekeepers and make sure they have everything right. Once it says final on that board, please do come out. Congratulate these skaters on a great game. Thank you once again for calling the game with me, Falcon.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And thanks to all our volunteers. Thanks to the skaters. Please remember to let skaters use the inside bathrooms. We'll let you know when the score is final here in just a second. There it is. The whistle has rolled. Score is final. 225 points for your hometown Uinta Roller Derby and 98 points for Lockeford Roller Derby. Thanks very much. We'll see you for the next game.